Good morning. Please stand and join us for our opening song, We're Unity. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Stewart on this fine sunny day. Welcome to all who are watching on YouTube and Facebook. Let's hit YouTube first. Lana and Jess and Phil and Cheryl and Pam and Ann and Tony and Irma and Sylvia and Brenda and Beverly. And so thank you for being with us this morning, if indeed you are. And online, hey Jerry. Oh, Jerry, who has been out after having some surgery, is coming back next week. So Jerry will be back in the booth. Woohoo! And looking forward to seeing you, Jerry. And we also want to say a heartfelt thank you to Mike Jordan for filling in on the board while Jerry was away. Yay! And while I'm thanking Mike, I also like to thank Peter Keelan, who has been in the booth for the last several weeks, also learning everything so he can step up and serve as well. So thank you to Peter. All right, so Jerry was up first, and so Cheryl is on. That's good to see you, Cheryl. I called you this past week, and so just in case you didn't see that. And Linda and Rogelio from DeLand are here, and Diane Murphy-Brecker, part of our choir, is off in Pennsylvania, so I hope you're having a good time there. And that is all I can see right now, and so glad you are all here. And we'd like to welcome, first of all, I want to say we have with us the Joyful Noise Band and Choir, and we'll take it. And our special music today features Doreen Pariba. All right, and then welcome to, if you are here for the first time, we'd like to give you a special welcome. If you're present in the sanctuary and you feel comfortable, we invite you to raise your hand so Rose or Ricky can give you a welcome packet. Very good, thank you. Anybody else who are here for the first time? And if you're online and you would like a welcome packet, you can email us at that address at admin@unityofstewart.org, and we will be happy to send you a welcome packet. And even with that, if you're there and you've been here a few times and haven't requested a welcome packet, anybody can do that as well as anybody in the room. If you'd like to see what the welcome packet looks like and you kind of forget, feel free to pick one up on the way out after service. And in that welcome packet is information about our Unity Center. There's a prayer request/intention form. There's also a form that if you take and fill it out and bring it back to Audrey at the welcome podium, she will be happy to give you a gift. and it will put you on our newsletter mailing list unless you check the box that says, please don't put me on your mailing list. And so we invite you to gather us. We have some goodies in the kitchen. Gather with us afterwards so we can get to know you. Most importantly, when we talk about welcoming, we would like everybody to know that Unity of Stewart is a welcoming, affirming, practical path of spirituality. Everyone is welcome here, no exceptions. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here. And there are our board of directors. And I like to show you the picture of our board of directors every week so you know who they are. So if you have any questions or anything at all, there are our board of directors. And we also have a director of the day. And today that director is Tom Taylor. And, and Tom, you can tell him by his handsome face back there. And Tom will be happy to have a conversation with you about anything Unity. We also have chaplains on duty today, and there are our chaplains. And our chaplains hold us in prayer in their regular prayer time, and they also are here in the sanctuary to offer prayer after service. And today, Audrey and Nancy are our prayer chaplains on duty. I just want to mention, there's Nancy and there's Audrey. I just want to mention that Audrey is doing triple duty today. She's a prayer chaplain, she's on the welcome podium, and she is in the choir. So thank you, Audrey. So they'll be in the sanctuary after service, and see if you have anything that you'd like prayer support with, a joy, a challenge, anything at all. Audrey or Nancy will be happy to pray with you and to hold your prayer in the highest confidence. And alternatively, and as well as, you can email us at prayer@unityofstewart.org. That comes to me, and I will pray over it myself and put it in the prayer box for the chaplains. Or you can call the Silent Unity prayer line at that number there, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they will support you in prayer as well. And I have an appreciation today. Rose, are you in here? There she is. So... And if it seems like we appreciate Rose a lot, it's because Rose does a lot. Yeah. And so when I came in here, was it Thursday or Tuesday? I can't remember. Rose was washing the windows outside. And she was just making sure that the church is looking as spiffy as it can for all of us. And she's also has prepared some additional meals. And I haven't talked about this in a little while, but if you are having surgery, or you need some meals, or you're just not feeling well and you'd like to either send somebody to pick up a meal. We don't actually have it in order yet to deliver a meal, but I'll do my best to do that if you need it. And so Rose prepared a whole bunch of meals, and she puts them in the freezer for us. So once again, thank you, Rose. Isn't that interesting? Did not look like that on the announcement site. Well, that is Scoop. There it is. And that's the ice cream social that's coming up on August 1st. I know, something. Maybe there's a kind of like a spiritual message in there. Yeah. There it is. Anyway, on August 1st, we are hosting. Mike, I feel a little loud now because I actually put my microphone in the right place. So this is an ice cream social that we're planning on. However, we haven't sold any tickets yet.
I just bought some.
Oh, you did? Oh, yay. Okay, wonderful.
I'm gonna buy
So,
some.
okay,
I'll buy some
if you're
today.
buying tickets, it would make me feel so much better, not that it's about me, if you bought them today. And you can go see May in the office, and she'll be happy to sell you a ticket at $10 for adults and children under 12. So we're going to have some games. We have the only game I know right now, I think, what game do you?
I have a carload of games.
Okay,
They're out
and
there.
we actually have giant Jenga. So
Giant Jenga.
kids, adults.
Yeah.
Dave is a giant Jenga fan. Anyway, come and join us on August 1st. Moving on. We have a free intro to Qigong coming up on August 3rd, and that is with Haysha Martyr, who is a certified Qigong instructor. And so Qi means life force, and Gong means skill or achievement. And so they're dynamic exercises. Like if you've seen Tai Chi, they involve soft power and flowing motion. They stretch and lubricate the body, its joints and internal organs, having the effect of massaging them. So I'm going to be there because I would like a body massage. And so that's on August 3rd at noon, and that is free. And if it's well attended and people are interested, Haysha will offer an ongoing class. And as you could see when you came in, we had a box out there for a summer food drive for House of Hope in the state of what the government is taking away from people. House of Hope is in need, and so we are having a summer food drive for them. So please grab a list. Just bring what's on the list. Don't bring anything that's open, please. Don't bring any household items. All they really want at this point is food from us. You can, of course, bring anything, household items or whatever, to the House of Hope. And don't bring anything that's been opened or used, please. So on Thursday night, I went to a rally in Monterey and US 1, and it was the Good Trouble rally. And so I wanted to share some good news today, and the good news is that John Lewis's legacy lives on. And his legacy is about getting into good trouble to make some good change, and they're about peaceful, nonviolent. People call them protests. I just like to call them rallies, rallying for love, for compassion, for kindness, and for taking care of each other. So that's my good news for today. And let's turn that into also the dedication today for people who stand up and show up. And so please join me in dedicating our service today to that. Our reading today, I am a bridge of peace and compassion. Each day I have the opportunity to choose connection over separation. In a world filled with different beliefs, customs, and stories, I remember that the same Spirit breathes in all of us. When I recognize that truth, I become a living bridge, one that brings hearts together instead of pushing them apart. Peace and compassion are not lofty ideals. They are practical spiritual tools. I activate them with my presence, my listening, and my willingness to show up. When I choose curiosity over judgment, dialogue over defensiveness, and love over fear, I become a channel for the divine to move through. Today I walk the sacred ground between differences, not to erase them, but to honor them. I see each person as a unique expression of God, and I welcome the wisdom each path has to offer. Where others build walls, I will build bridges, with my words, with my kindness, and with my spiritual maturity. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. And let's take another deep breath. As we settle into peace, as we settle into compassion, and as our opening song said, we build a bridge instead of a wall, extending a hand to all who fall. And so we turn this prayer over into the care and keeping of the one. And so it is. Amen. And let's affirm together our affirmation. Together. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. And I invite us into that deep breath as we anchor this affirmation, this claim into our very atoms. As we affirm one more time together. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. And so it is. Amen. And let's prepare for meditation by singing, I Am One with God.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I am in harmony with God's love and peace, like a flower.
And let's begin by taking a deep, conscious breath. Settling in to this now moment. Letting these tones help us move into this place of physical relaxation, dropping our shoulders, releasing any tension the body may be holding, and dropping our attention from our head, from our thinking, into our hearts, into our feeling. As we feel the power and the presence of the one, of that mystery that we call God, moving in and through and all around us. And in another deep breath, I invite you to allow the words you hear to become the words of your own mind and heart. I remember right here and right now that where there are borders, there's also the possibility of bridges. So right here, right now, even though I cannot take down every border in the world between religions, cultures, or people, I can choose to be a bridge. And I begin to become a bridge when I step out of the safety zone that I have erected around myself. That safety zone of what I already know. I can step through that and I soften. I listen. And I stretch toward connection. Because I know this truth, that spirit is everywhere. It is more than my tradition. It is bigger than the language I pray in. So I open myself to this truth right now. Spirit is bigger than my comfort zone, and love is stronger than any fear I may be carrying. I can love someone without agreeing with their theology. I can honor someone's tradition even as I don't fully understand it. I can show up with an open heart. And so I breathe in courage and breathe out resistance. I forgive the systems and those that have taught separation. I forgive myself for the ways I have clung to being right. I choose to see divinity in those who walk a different path. I choose to live my beliefs in a way that makes room for others to live theirs. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. I breathe and know this truth. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. I am a bridge of peace and compassion in the quiet. as we have co-created and entered into this space of peace and compassion, I invite us to bring into our awareness all of those that are on our prayer list here at Unity of Stewart, and all of those in our minds and hearts. And I invite you to speak names out into this holy space if you'd like to, seeing each one lifted up in peace, in compassion, in love and wholeness and prosperity, and all the blessings of the one. And releasing all into the care and keeping of the one. I invite you to join me in praying this in the name and the nature, the light and the love of the indwelling Christ consciousness. And so it is. Amen. Let's sing.
Good morning. This is a song with a great message that's by Jewel called Hands. One, two, three, four. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be we're all okay. And not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless at times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, for light does the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own. I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes. It didn't steal your after. Heartache came to visit me, but I knew it was never after. We'll fight, not out of spite, for someone must stand up for what's right. 'Cause where there's a man who has no voice, there I shall go singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. They're not yours, they are my own. I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray.
I will get down on my knees and I will pray.
We will get down on our knees. We will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own. I am never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own. I am never broken. We are never broken. We are God's eyes, God's hands, God's smile.
Thank you, Joyful Noise. Thank you, Rini. Thank you, thank you. Light is what darkness most fears. So, we're about being light here. We're about rising above whatever fears we are carrying and shining light on it. And also knowing that we are the hands, the hearts, the eyes, the minds of the divine infinite, that mystery that we call God, shows up in the world in, through, and as us. And knowing that, let's take another deep breath, settling in, and knowing this truth. Where there are borders, there is also the possibility of bridges. And so we begin on this part 3 of our Living Universal Spiritual Truth series, Bridge Builders and Border Crosses. Of course, borders are real. Geographic, cultural, religious, emotional. But the presence of a border doesn't mean separation is going to definitely happen. It doesn't mean that it's inevitable. It can just mean a bridge is waiting to be built. So today we'll look at the truth that walking the conscious spiritual path isn't only a private journey of personal awakening. It's also a collective invitation into healing. It's a collective invitation for our world. Healing between faiths, healing across cultures, and healing inside communities. This path calls us to know not only that mystery within each one of us, but to also see that mystery, see that divine in others as well, who may know what we call God differently. That's both a gift and a challenge. There are many times in my life when I've looked at somebody who I think their beliefs are problematic, that I sit in judgment on that. I have said out loud and to myself, wait till God gets them in heaven. Okay, they're going to get a talking to. Now, notice I didn't say they're not going to heaven, because I think everybody goes to what that mystery is that we call heaven, that place of divine love that I believe we all melt into after the passing of our physical bodies. Which is why, right here and now in this world that we're in, especially in this world that we're in, we are called to rise above differences, as difficult as it may be, and to hold the place of peace and compassion for those who don't believe like we do. We teach in Unity that Spirit is everywhere present, even in that person you're thinking about now. That Spirit is everywhere present, and what is ours to do is to open our minds and hearts to that Spirit. The divine doesn't limit itself to one language or one ritual. It moves to a variety of different rhythms, to a variety of different languages, a variety of rituals, chanting, drumming. It speaks in mosques and temples and in cathedrals and even our spiritual community. It speaks. So, if we believe in the one presence and one power, and I do, we must also honor the infinite diversity in all the expressions of that infinite power, in all the expressions of the divine. And here's a deeper truth, perhaps. We can't fully claim to be awake, aware, enlightened, if we're only listening to our own echo. You've heard of echo chamber, right? That's what my social media feed is. It's an echo chamber of everything I believe, of everything I like, of everything I want to draw into my life. It's an echo chamber. And in our day-to-day life, we are called to step outside of our echo chamber. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore once wrote, Unity, we look for truth in every religion and every philosophy and bring it into our teachings as we find it. That's universal spirituality in action. Our founders recognized that spiritual truth isn't locked into one tradition. It reveals itself wherever hearts are open and minds are curious. So when we say Spirit expresses uniquely through every culture, what do we mean? The sacred isn't abstract. It shows up in rituals, languages, sacred art, rhythms, community practices, seasonal celebrations. When we dismiss another cultural spiritual expression, we cut ourselves off from the sacred divine. So we're called not just to tolerate difference and diversity, but to embrace it. Because every difference is an expression of the divine. That's why we say unity is inclusive. Not because it sounds good, because it's theologically consistent. If God is all in all, then every culture, every spiritual path, every sincere seeker reveals something of God's nature. So let's look at a few people living this out. So on top there, the top left, that's a gentleman named Eboo Patel. He's the founder of Interfaith America. He's a Muslim thinker and leader who believes that religious diversity is a strength, not a weakness. He envisions a world where different faiths don't separate us, but they work together to serve the common good. And in his book, Interfaith Leadership, he writes, the aim is not to create a melting pot where differences disappear, but a potluck where each tradition brings its own dish to the table, and we all feast together. And his approach is deeply practical. He organizes campus programs and community projects where young people of different faiths come together and they serve side by side. They clean up neighborhoods, they feed the hungry, they build homes. It's not about theology. It's about putting feet to whatever your prayer is. It's about shared values in action. That's what builds trust. That's what builds bridges. And over there on the right is Karen Armstrong. She's a former Catholic nun turned religious historian. And she reminds us that the universal thread is compassion. The universal thread of all the world's religions is compassion. All the world's major religions, she says. So she writes in her book, The 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life, all the great religious traditions insist that compassion is the test of true spirituality and that it brings us into relation with what we call God, Brahman, Nirvana, or Tao. She created something called the Charter for Compassion, which invites individuals and communities around the globe to commit to compassion, not as an intellectual exercise, but as a daily practice. She reminds us that compassion is not weakness. It's a spiritual muscle that we must exercise and practice. And when we practice it along lines of difference, it becomes a force for systemic healing, she says. And those three men on the bottom there, they might be my absolute favorite. These are the Interfaith Amigos. They're Rabbi Ted Falcon, Imam Jamal Rahman, and Pastor Don McKenzie. Now I'm just going to say it now. It's here somewhere else. I saw a video. I tuned into a video of these three doing a TED Talk. The link is going to be coming on live at 11:30 on Facebook. They met each other. I think Rabbi Falcon and Imam Rahman knew each other before 9/11. And then after 9/11, they became friends with Pastor Don McKenzie. And they would meet each other and talk about how to build bridges. And then they decided that they shouldn't keep their conversations to themselves. So they wrote a few books. They've done a variety of TED Talks. And the one I watched was the TEDx Rainier. And as I said, it's going to be on Facebook. Watch it. It's like 13 minutes. It's one of the most lovely things you will ever watch in your life. So, yeah, they wanted to model authentic friendship across differences. And in their book, Getting to the Heart of Interfaith, they write, we're not trying to agree, we're trying to love. Plain and simple. So in that TED Talk, the TEDx Rainier, Rabbi Rahman said, it's not Rahman, Falcon, thank you. Who was that? Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you. Falcon. I'm going to change that in my notes. In my excitement, I wrote the wrong name. So, Rabbi Falcon said, the core teaching of Judaism is the evolving, awakening awareness to oneness. Does that sound familiar to Unity peeps? The evolving, awakening awareness to oneness. However, it's a oneness that demands action in the world. It demands ethical action in the world. And Pastor Don McKenzie, on the right there, says the core teaching of Christianity is unconditional love. Simply put, love without conditions. And Imam Rahman says the core teaching of Islam is compassion. Compassion for self and others. And they say that we have gone astray from our core teachings. And they said that's always been the case. And they remind us that compassion is a requirement of the spiritual path. It creates real relationships. And real relationships don't rely on agreeing with everything someone else says or how they live or their doctrine. It means creating a space where all spirit, all truths can sit at the same table. So these guys have shared stages around the world, but not to debate. They don't debate, but they are funny. You really need to watch it. But to demonstrate how spiritual friendship is possible and necessary. So in this talk that you'll watch, they talked about how to build that bridge building path. How do we walk that path? How do we build bridges? I don't know if that was their language, but that's my language. So 5 stages of bridge building. To reach beyond distrust and suspicion by sharing our stories with each other. To gain an appreciative understanding of the core teachings of someone else's traditions. To realize that in the context of those core teachings is an invitation to understand how some of those teaching and practices are consistent with our core teaching and some of them are not consistent with our core teachings. And I add that that shouldn't be a deal breaker. Someone asked me recently, I can't remember, maybe somebody was in this room, I don't remember, what do you do when somebody says, you know, unity isn't the way to go? Or, my daughter, what's that? My daughter is a hostess at a restaurant, and she worked with somebody and they were having a conversation. Now, this isn't about religious traditions, but maybe it is a little bit, but it's about political stances. And so they were talking about, God only knows why they would talk about politics. But my daughter said, well, you know, maybe they're talking about religions. I don't know. My daughter said to this other person in the restaurant, well, my mom's a minister. And this young woman said to her, is she liberal? Is she liberal? Sophia has a tattoo on the back of her neck that says, all is well. Oh, that's how it started. Sophia has a tattoo on the back of her neck that says, all is well. And the young woman asked her about it. And she said, do you go to church? What does that mean? Are you liberal? She said, well, my mom's a minister. I grew up in the church. She says, liberals shouldn't be ministers. Liberals shouldn't be in the church. Because they don't agree with doctrine. So, you know, Sophia, you know, being around the block a while with me just kind of left the conversation. But not before I sent her a picture of me on the podium going like this to show her friends. So we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree with the doctrine of other traditions in order to build a bridge. And so somebody asked me, oh, I digressed. So somebody asked me how I deal with people who say, you know, something negative about unity or whatever it is, or about progressive theology. And I said, well, I don't debate anybody anymore. I never debate anybody anymore. What I do is I look for similarities. I look for similarities. What? Do we love spirit? Yes. Do we want spirit in our lives? Do we want our children to be safe? Do we want our children to have an interior meditative or prayerful life? Yes. So we look for similarities, not for differences. Where was I? Oh, how core teachings are some the same and some are not. And then there's the willingness to enter into more difficult conversations. And one of the most difficult conversations in the theologic world is the conflict, the war between Israel and Palestine. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of these conversations or anything in social media or in your own life, but that is an incredibly difficult conversation, and it has been an incredibly difficult conversation for decades. So here's my caveat about willing to enter into difficult conversations. For me, the most true thing I can sometimes say about things is I don't know enough about that to have an opinion. And other times I have a very strong opinion. I can say, well, this is how I think about it. And I don't have those conversations with people I don't know that I don't trust. I don't look for random strangers in line at Publix who I hear saying something and try to start a debate or a dialogue with them. Right? It's about living into spiritual and emotional maturity when we have those conversations. So willingness to enter into more difficult conversations. And the willingness to celebrate actually experienced spiritual practices from other traditions. So the only thing that I've done, actually since I've been here in Southern Florida, in Stuart, is, because I work on Sundays, so it's hard for me to go different places, but I went to the Temple Beth Hayam for their Rosh Hashanah celebration a couple of years ago. And it was lovely. It was lovely. It was a lot longer than our service. And it was lovely to be in someone else's tradition, honoring and just sitting and just seeing what it's like. Because the truth is, the practices of compassion, unconditional love, waking up to the divine presence exist in every tradition. And when we practice and when we honor, we dissolve the fear, we dissolve the judgment, and we open channels for grace in our world. You don't need to be a scholar or a part of the clergy to walk this path. We just have to care. We just have to care. So I invite you to reflect now. Ask yourself a couple of questions. Now, this doesn't have to be theology. You don't have to apply this to theology. You can apply it to a family member or someone you've been avoiding. What border have I been avoiding? Ask yourself this. What border have I been avoiding? Where in my life is there an invitation to build a bridge? Maybe it's with a neighbor. Maybe it's a part of your own story that you've walled off. Maybe it is a faith tradition that you've been judging. So start small. Just think about what it's like to build a bridge. And what I offer you is to envision this. You can see yourself and your person at opposite ends of whatever spectrum it is, whether it's an argument, whether it's theological, whether it's political. You can see each other at the opposite ends and just imagine building a bridge in between. And they may not want to build a bridge, but that doesn't mean you can't. And it's not about pushing yourself on somebody, but it's about the energy of building that bridge in your mind and taking that person's feet out of cement that you might have put them in because of beliefs or traditions and just building the bridge, holding the energy. So about theology, you can attend a cultural celebration that's not your own. You can read a sacred text from another tradition. There are still some handouts out there of a couple of, maybe 5 or 6 sacred texts from other traditions. But make sure you don't read it to analyze it. Read it to just hear it, to just listen to it, to see how it moves in and through you. Have coffee with someone from another faith and ask them what brings them alive. Or how do they live their faith? As long as you can do it without judgment. As many of you know, my first ordination, I'm an ordained interfaith minister and an ordained unity minister. My first ordination was the interfaith minister. In that 2-year program that I was in, I encountered the teachings of a variety of traditions, as well as people of many traditions. Now, maybe the most interesting one would be that the young woman who was a Wiccan, you might know that as witchcraft, and she would bring her pet rat to class, which was fine. It was adorable. It was fine. Just sit on her shoulder, wouldn't run around or anything. So I was exposed to a lot of different religions, that being the most memorable one right now. And what I learned was all different traditions can come together in an interspirituality to appreciate others' traditions. And so what I found to be very informative for me in my own spiritual path was Judaism and Buddhism. As a matter of fact, the woman, her name is Diane Burke, who founded the Interfaith Seminary in New York, she referred to herself as a Buju, Buddhist and Jewish, a Buju. So you may or may not have noticed that I talk about Buddhism, I talk about other spiritual paths a lot because I know truth when I hear it. And again, that's the truth for me. Doesn't necessarily have to be the truth for you. It's the truth for me, my own personal theology. I'm not a Buddhist, nor am I Jewish, but I know wisdom when I hear it. So the moment that we open ourselves to other paths, not to change them, but to learn from them, we cross a spiritual threshold. We're no longer in a box, and we expand our vision, and we see God in a fuller, more radiant light. Because here's what's true. The world doesn't need more theological arguments. It needs more people being willing to relate across the differences. Right now, as we know here in our country, religious nationalism is surging. Spiritual echo chambers are growing. However, still we don't thrive in isolation. We thrive in stretching beyond what we think we know. Theologian Barbara Brown Taylor says, God does not live in our dogma. God lives in our willingness to be surprised. Oh, you Muslim? I was taught that you were evil. Right? And so we forgive. We forgive the machines and the people who told us that. And we allow ourselves to be surprised. Be surprised by grace in unfamiliar places. So I wonder if you'd speak aloud our affirmation, not as a wish, but a declaration. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. Together? I am a bridge of peace and compassion. And then let that land, let it rise in you as we affirm it one more time. I am a bridge of peace and compassion. And then take the next step. Not later, not some point in the future, but this week. Support an interfaith group or an intercultural event. Reach out to a neighbor from a different background. Offer forgiveness where walls have gone up, even if it's the walls that have gone up in you. And practice compassion where comfort, where self-comfort has called you to look away. Eboo Patel reminds us, you don't need to change your faith to affirm someone else's. You just need to live your faith fully enough to see God at work in them too. So it's about living our faith. It's about living our own spiritual principles so they get so big and so energetic that we can see the spiritual, the divine, infinite in others. That's the work of a border crosser. That's the work of the interspiritual path. Because the divine shows up wherever bridges are built. And the builders? It's us. We're the builders. I claim this truth for each and every one of us. Namaste. And now it is time for our celebration of abundance, also known as our love offering. And those are ways online, those are the ways that you can give to Unity of Stewart. They're also posted on YouTube and on Facebook underneath the video. And of course, everybody in the sanctuary can see those as well. And of course, Rick and Rick and Tom are going to be coming around with the baskets. But before we do, I want to say thank you for continued love offerings, your tithes, your works of service, without which Unity of Stewart cannot do the work that we do. I hope you feel the impact in yourself and in the world because of the work that you do here. Let's affirm our prosperity prayer and our love offering blessing together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stewart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And our love offering blessing together. Divine love adds me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. Let's sing about it.
We are with
it is. So next week, I'll be hosting in the small classroom guided conversations about, well, we have a series of questions we can talk to each other about this whole series of July Living Universal Spiritual Truths. There's no sign up, just come if you'd like. It starts at about noon. Yeah, who knows how long it goes, half an hour, and we'll have the opportunity to discuss some of the things with a guided conversation about universal spiritual truths. Come and join me next week. And we are having a forum on immigration and human dignity. And I want to read what I'm going to say this afternoon at 3 o'clock about why we're here and why Unity is hosting this forum. We're hosting this forum because what's happening right now with immigration isn't just policy. It's personal and it's harmful. People who haven't done anything wrong are being taken from their homes and communities, treated like criminals, and denied basic rights. And these are people who are undocumented and documented, by the way. That's not justice, that's cruelty. These are good people just trying to live good and decent lives. So when we ignore due process and strip people of their dignity, we are losing a part of our own humanity too. So this conversation at 3 o'clock today matters because we can't stay silent while others are being treated as less than human. And we'll have 2 representatives today. There'll be a couple here who are here because of DACA, and so they're still living in fear. We'll also have, who is the other person? Marisol. No, we're going to have an immigration lawyer here, but the other person that's going to be here? Okay, we'll have another person here who I can't remember what documentation they have, but they have some or they wouldn't be here. We were going to have a woman on videotape who was too afraid to even be, she's too afraid to even be videotaped. So she backed out. She didn't want to do it. So that's going to be this afternoon at 3 o'clock, so we invite you to join us for that. And Marisol I can't remember Marisol's name. She'll be here. Roberta, our outreach coordinator and activist, will be here. And Larry Condon from St. Joseph's Catholic Church will be here because he was instrumental in organizing this as well. And also, for those of you who are able-bodied and would like to help, we're going to be moving some tables into the classroom because it's pretty hot out. We want to make sure people can sit and chat and have some refreshments. So we'll need some help moving chairs and setting up the classroom. If you can stay, that would be wonderful. And with that said, I think I hear people, little ones out. At least I know Nova's here. I don't know who else is here. Ready? All right. Let's sing our kids in. Please stand.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God.
I have a slide for the family day. And please be seated. Hey, Nova. So this is a whole family deal here. This is Miss Jen. She's Cadence and Nova's mom. And Jen's our Youth and Family Ministry Director.
Today in the classroom, we practiced loving kindness meditation. We're focusing on the principles, and today we talked about principle 4, which is through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out all the good things in my life. And Nova, do you want to share about your meditation? No? So Nova has a very big fear of spiders. And we went on a hike yesterday, and that fear came out full force because we were in deep Florida. And so she drew a picture of her down here, Rip, and a spider. And then we did a loving kindness meditation where we're taking deep breaths and pushing love and kindness and appreciation to spiders and to those things. And then she drew a picture afterwards to exhibit the softening in her heart, very slight, but
And what I love about it is the spider has a mustache. I
Mustache,
think.
yeah. Yes. It's got a little personality now, you know. So it was a really fun activity. It's a good practice for kids to take control of their experience. So on August 10th, we are hosting a family fun day. Woo! We're very excited.
Gosh, it's gonna be a bounce house.
I know. We're very excited.
I hope I can bounce then.
So bring your kiddos.
Bring your
and,
kids.
You
Yep.
don't have to know who they are. They just have to sign a liability waiver. And so bring anybody you like for our family fun day, August
Yep.
10th. Let's
August
free,
10th.
of course, at 11:30.
Yep, right after service, and we're pushing forth that growth of our youth program.
All right, let's stand as we sing to Nova. And let's close with the prayer for protection and the peace song together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine. And so.